Ben Simmons has frustrated NBA fans for years, refusing to shoot, but things have never been this bad. His own team has turned on him. The worst part is, he can shoot. We saw that early in his career. I mean, it's frustrating when a guy is bad at shooting, like Russell Westbrook or Giannis, but Simmons won't even try. Some people say Ben Simmons is shooting with the wrong hand, and there's a lot of evidence that he is a natural righty who shoots lefty, but that is not the real problem. This video explains what the actual truth is behind Ben Simmons not shooting and a guaranteed way to fix it. Yo, it's Casey, this is AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells. It helps the channel. Dropping 5 videos per week. You'll be an entertained NBA fan all week long. And we have been talking about Ben Simmons refusing to shoot for years. I felt bad for his old coach Brett Brown, who told Ben to shoot at least 1 3 a game. He shot 1 3 in 14 games after that. The really frustrating thing though is videos like this. This is Ben Simmons during the summer league before his rookie year. Obviously you see him shooting jumpers. Or this video of him in high school, senior year, where he's knocking down threes, no problem. Also, left-handed. Yes, when Ben Simmons was a kid, his dad thought it was a good idea to shoot lefty to be more dangerous, but he throws a baseball right-handed, he lobs the basketball right-handed. And people say that is all he needs to fix, but they're wrong. Don't you think these Sixers know about the lefty-righty thing? They're literally a $2 billion franchise with an entire analytics staff. There are people whose jobs depend on their success. No, NBA YouTubers haven't cracked the code and have the secret. The truth is, Simmons can't shoot because he's afraid of missing. His high school teammate D'Angelo Russell says that Ben is afraid of being criticized.
Do you think he's worried about if he hits a 2 for 18 stretch that it's going to it's almost like if I don't ever shoot, then no one can ever say I'm like a bad shooter. It's unproven because I haven't shot.
That's exactly what I think. I mean, as a shooter, a guy that, I'm not saying you know what a slump feels like, but when you're missing and you can't throw the ball in the hole, it's like, and then everybody's talking about it, and then you look on social and you're seeing it, and it's just like it kills your confidence, I would say, and that's what pushes the league, confidence. So
Ben is so afraid of having his confidence shaken, he doesn't do anything to mess with it. And we could all see that against the Hawks in this postseason. As soon as his confidence was shaken, he was like Superman holding a ball of kryptonite at the free throw line. Dude shot 33% from the charity stripe and passed up a crucial dunk to not get fouled. He was so afraid of the basketball in crunch time, he attempted 0 field goals in the 4th quarter of the last 4 games against Atlanta. Dude is scared to death of being criticized. And I will seriously explain the guaranteed solution, but honestly, I know what he's going through. And what I'm about to say is probably the most real thing I have ever said on this channel. And I don't actually want to say it, but I do know exactly what Ben Simmons is going through. I used to work for CBS Sports, and when I got there, I was really in my head. It got to the point that I was mixing up my words on air, and it would kill my confidence, and it would snowball. Now, I clearly have the ability to talk sports to a camera, right? But I was so afraid to mess things up that it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And unfortunately for me, by the time I got my head right, it was too late and they didn't bring me back. And that exact same thing is about to happen to Ben Simmons. The Sixers are about to trade him. I don't care what their front office says. My only question is, will that be enough for him to change? And maybe it doesn't have to be actually, because a team built around Ben Simmons would have a higher ceiling than him with Joel Embiid. Those two on the same team never made sense. Forcing Embiid all the way out to the 3-point line takes so much away from his potential. And you think Sixers fans are frustrated? Here's what Embiid said this year. Quote, "People keep saying, oh, you have to stop spending time at the 3-point line. But I do it because Ben is such a good driver going to the basket that I've got to help open that up for him. I would like it if he would do the same thing for me, to start shooting threes, but I also know how uncomfortable he is with it." What? That would make me so upset as a Sixers fan. He's uncomfortable with it? Grow up. People like Brett Brown have lost their jobs over this. The Sixers as a team lost a huge playoff series over this. He's uncomfortable. I doubt Ben Simmons can ever show his face in that locker room again after what happened, because it really looks like he's just being selfish. The real problem is not shooting with his left hand. It is confidence and people holding him accountable. And the only solution is him getting traded. Now, Simmons really needs to go to some struggling team that's not going to baby him. The only type of coach who can help is someone who's not afraid to lose his job. Because if you listen to sound bites from his other coaches, Brett Brown or Doc Rivers, they say that they're going to hold Ben accountable for not shooting, but they won't. I mean, their priority really is not getting fired, number one. And then it is doing things like holding guys accountable. And I don't blame them. I mean, of course they should prioritize their own job. But if they aren't actually willing to bench Ben Simmons, then nothing is going to change. And this quote from Gary Payton perfectly sums that up.
I think what Ben Simmons' problem is that he's so good and he does stuff so well and nobody stops him. He doesn't think that he has to change or he has to shoot that shot because he knows he can get to the basket. As you remember when he missed the free throws and they was hacking him and stuff like that, then he came back in game 3 and dominated that. You remember he had dunks, he had 20-some points, he was very confident. His confidence was here. But when it gets down to here, he starts to be that player that he listens to everything. I think basketball is all about confidence.
So Peyton said 2 really smart things there. First, Ben won't shoot because he doesn't actually have to. And number 2, his confidence is fragile and it's important. And I think the only solution to both those things is a trade to the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich is the only coach in the league with enough power to actually punish Ben if he doesn't try to shoot. Dude doesn't have to make the shots, but he has to try. And the Spurs have one of the best shooting coaches in the NBA named Chip England, and he worked with Kawhi Leonard. The second reason the Spurs would be perfect is the lack of a spotlight. Even when the Spurs had a dynasty, people barely talked about him. Ben worries a lot about what other people think. He's always on social media. Well, San Antonio is the opposite of Philly, and the pressure will be off. Everyone's talking about a Ben Simmons trade. The only place that actually makes sense, though, is the San Antonio Spurs. For Ben Simmons, at least. The Spurs need a superstar, too, and they could get one at a great price. If that doesn't work, nothing can fix what's actually wrong with Ben Simmons. And if the Spurs don't trade for Ben Simmons, then they're going to have to get really lucky in the draft. And if you want to see who I think they should pick later in the lottery, check out the Mock Draft 3.0.